The Fajr prayer and a false cry, it was the final watch of the night. Inside the fortified city of Aleppo, in a quiet corner of an old neighborhood, stood a small house with a modest courtyard. The air carried the softness of early dawn, that pre-morning chill which seeps deep into the soul. 21-year-old Salahuddin washed his face with cold water for ablution. There was a strange dignity in his eyes, one that subdued even the fire of youth. He had arrived here from Mosul with his father, Salahuddin Ayyubi, to stay with his uncle Asad al-Din Shirkuh, a respected commander. Under Emir Nur al-Din Zengi, Salahuddin was already known for his exceptional character. While his swordsmanship surpassed that of his peers, what astonished people even more was his devotion, his strict observance of prayers, and his habit of waking for tahajjud. Some youths looked at him with envy, elders with pride. That morning, like every other, he stepped out of his small room into the courtyard. He stood upon an old, worn prayer rug, one his mother had packed for him before their journey. He raised his hands. Allahu Akbar. There was softness in his voice and depth. He began praying the Sunnah of Fajr. The silence was so profound that one could almost hear the nearby mosque's muezzin stirring, preparing for the call to prayer. Salahuddin was so absorbed in his prayer that the world around him faded away completely. And then it happened. Just as he was about to go into prostration, a sharp, piercing scream tore through the silence from the alley behind the house. "Help! He has violated my honor. He has dishonored me." Salahuddin's prayer broke. Startled and alarmed, he stood upright. His heart pounded. What was happening? The voice was very close. He looked toward the courtyard entrance that opened into the alley. A faint light flickered, perhaps from a torch. Before he could react, a young woman wrapped head to toe in a black veil rushed into the courtyard. Behind her followed 3 or 4 men holding sticks and torches. The woman lifted her veil, her hair disheveled, tears streaming down her face. She pointed directly at Salahuddin and screamed, "It's him, Salahuddin Ayyubi. He dragged me here by force and violated me. When I resisted, he beat me." Salahuddin stood frozen in disbelief. He did not recognize her. "Who are you? What are you saying?" "I was just praying." His voice held confusion, not anger. But the men ignored him. One of them stepped forward angrily. "You see? This is the truth. A hypocrite. A false worshipper. Seize him." Salahuddin did not resist. He understood that any struggle would only worsen matters. Calmly he said, "I am innocent. Allah is my witness." But his words were drowned in chaos. His hands were bound and he was dragged into the alley. As he glanced back, he saw the woman standing there, expressionless. Their eyes met briefly, hers held an eerie emptiness, as if her task was complete. News spread through the neighborhood like wildfire. Salahuddin Ayyubi Shirkuh's nephew caught attempting to violate a woman. People poured into the streets in disbelief. Some rushed to inform his father, Salahuddin Ayyubi, who trembled upon hearing it. "My son? Impossible." He hurried to the city governor, but the matter had already escalated. The girl was said to belong to the family of a respected merchant, Khwaja Fazlollah. The accusation was grave. Salahuddin was immediately detained. Naim al-Din could not see his son that night. He sent word to Asad al-Din Shirkuh, who was away on a military mission. By morning, the governor announced, "This case is too sensitive. It will be presented before Emir Nur al-Din Zengi himself." The court of Nur al-Din Zengi. Nur al-Din Zengi's court was unlike ordinary courts. He was a just ruler. The hall was spacious. Nur al-Din sat on an elevated seat, with judges and scholars to his right, commanders and nobles to his left. Salahuddin was brought in chains. He wore the same simple white shirt and trousers from the night before. His face showed fatigue, but his eyes retained their dignity. He spotted his anxious father, his questioning uncle, and then the girl, Hafiza, seated beside her father and brothers. The Qazi asked her to testify. She rose slowly, her voice trembling. "Last night, I was returning alone. He seized me, dragged me into his courtyard, tried to violate me." She wept loudly. Murmurs filled the hall. The Qazi turned to Salahuddin. "What do you say in your defense?" The hall fell silent. Salahuddin lowered his head. He said nothing. The girl screamed, "Look! He's silent. He is guilty." Then Salahuddin raised his head. "Calm, steady. Oh, Qazi Sahib, oh, Amir al-Mu'minin, may I ask her just one question?" Nur al-Din nodded. "Ask." Salahuddin looked directly at the girl and said, "Ask her what color trousers was she wearing that night?" The hall froze. The girl turned pale. She stammered, I don't remember." Salahuddin spoke firmly. "If I had committed this crime, I would remember what she wore. But I never saw her before. She, however, should know. The truth was clear." The girl broke down. Her father confessed. It was all a lie, an attempt to force a marriage. Nur al-Din was furious. Punishments were announced. Then Salahuddin did something remarkable. He asked for mercy. "I forgive them." The court stood in awe. Nur al-Din said, "Your soul is greater than your strength." Epilogue. Weeks later, Nur al-Din appointed Salahuddin to serve him personally. And thus, from a false accusation and a single wise question, began the journey of a man who would become Salahuddin Ayyubi the legend. Summary: a false accusation, one intelligent question, and the first trial of a great leader.